Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for you to join me today in my kitchen as I show you these 4 meals that I have made for my family, and I hope you try them out and your family enjoys them just as much. So we started out our week with Dutch oven cheesy bread, and I ended up using the bread to make grilled cheese sandwiches and soup for my kids and their cousin during a sleepover. So to start out making my bread, I put 2 cups of warm water and 2 1/4 teaspoons of dry active yeast in a separate bowl and just let that sit for about 5 minutes until it gets good and bubbly. In a separate bowl, I've added 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt and 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese and stir that to combine. After I've let my yeast water mixture sit for 5 minutes, I pour it directly into my flour and cheese mixture and stir that all around and combine everything really well till you get this consistency. And then you want to grab some plastic wrap and cover it tightly and let it set for about an hour so it'll rise. While my dough was rising, I preheat my oven to 450, put my Dutch oven inside with the lid on so it could preheat as well. After my hour was up, I got a piece of parchment paper and turned my dough out onto the parchment paper because you're going to put that inside of your Dutch oven with the lid on to bake. You'll bake it at 450 for 20 minutes with the lid on, and then you'll take the lid off carefully, of course, because it's super hot, and bake for another 10 minutes. Once your bread is done and out of the oven, it's going to be this pretty golden color, and then you can use it for whatever you like. We sliced it up and made grilled cheese sandwiches to go with soup. Soup was not homemade, but the kids enjoyed it. The next meal we had was super easy, so good, and probably one of the most well-known crock pot meals around. We had Mississippi roast. So this is super simple. All you're going to do is just add a 3 to 4 pound chuck roast in the bottom of your crock pot. Add an entire stick of butter. You technically are supposed to add pepperoncini peppers, but we don't like those, so I just use a sliced up bell pepper. Place that around the outside of your roast. Sprinkle over a packet of au jus gravy and a packet of dry ranch seasoning. You do not have to add water to this at all. Once you get everything inside of your crock pot, put your lid on top, turn it on low, and cook for 9 to 10 hours. Once your meat's done, you want to shred it. You can use 2 forks, or you can do like I did and just pull it apart with tongs. It's that tender. We like to serve ours over mashed potatoes, and it's always a big hit in our house. Okay, so the next meal that we had was cheeseburger sliders, and burgers are always a big hit in our house, but these sliders were absolutely amazing. My entire family loved them, and my kids absolutely devoured them. It was so good. So all I did was just grab my cast iron skillet and start browning up about 2 pounds of hamburger. We use either the 80/20 or the 85/15, depending on what's on sale. But once that's brown, drain the grease. And then the recipe does actually call for an onion to go in there, but my family won't eat it. So I put in some onion powder. I just eyeballed that. I put in about a teaspoon of garlic powder, salt, and pepper, and then just cook that a little to combine the flavors. Next, I'm going to add in a couple dashes of Worcestershire sauce. I always struggle saying that, but that and ground beef always go well together. And this is the crazy sounding part, but add in 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. Duke's is our preferred brand, but you can use whatever you want. And I know it sounds crazy putting mayonnaise in there, but it really does help keep the meat very moist and tender, and just it helps your sliders not to dry out. Once your meat mixture is completely combined, go ahead and take your 2 packs of dinner rolls, cut them in half, and place the bottoms on the sheet pan. You're technically supposed to put cheese on top of the bottoms, then the meat, but I completely forgot that step. So it worked out just as fine. So you can put the meat directly on the bottoms and then cover all of the meat with sliced cheese. Any cheese is fine. I use the white American cheese. You have all your cheese on your meat, go ahead and place the dinner roll tops back on, and then you want to melt down about 2 tablespoons of butter and just brush the tops of your rolls with the butter, and then sprinkle with sesame seeds so you can pop it in the oven to bake at 350 for about 15 minutes. Once these are done and out of the oven, they are ooey gooey melted and so good. We just served ours with a pickle slice and some french fries. Big hit in our house. The last meal we had was a semi-homemade chicken pot pie. I say semi because some things were store-bought, but there are a lot of fresh things in here as well. So start out by melting down 1/3 cup of butter, and then you want to add in a cup of diced carrots and 2 diced potatoes into your skillet with the butter. You don't have to peel the potatoes if you don't want to, but if you do, you can. Totally fine. Saute your vegetables for about 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes, you want to add in an 8-ounce can of corn that's drained and an 8-ounce can of sweet peas that's drained, and cook that around for another minute or 2. Now you want to add in about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. You're just going to mix this around and let it cook for about a minute, minute and a half to get the raw flour taste out of it. But it's also going to help thicken up your vegetables and your sauce once you add in the 2 cups of chicken broth and a cup of half and half. And if you were like me and don't have half and half, I had heavy cream and milk, so you literally just do 1/2 cup milk and 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Once your sauce and vegetable mixture is thick, but not so thick you can't stir it, it's time to add in the chicken. I forgot to defrost some chicken so I could boil it and shred it. So I did have canned chicken in my cabinet, so I just drained that and add that directly into my pan. And then I add in salt and pepper to taste, stir it all around to combine it really well. So we can take our refrigerated pie dough, put one of the pie crust in the bottom of my pie pan, and pour the filling on top, and then top it with the second pie crust. And once you do this, you want to cut slits in it so it helps it vent while it's cooking. And then you bake it for about 40 minutes at 350 degrees. I hope you guys enjoyed these recipes, and you will subscribe to my channel to follow along for more like this.